LGBT voters, a larger share of the electorate than ever, shift away from Trump. Trump makes massive gains with Hispanics nationwide and black voters in swing states, as per exit polls. Reportedly, Harris' campaign rejected Black Caucus 10 million iPhone 16 now banned in Indonesia over Apple's unfulfilled investment commitments. Apple's first smart home display could pay homage to a classic iMac. OnePlus introduces high-performance OxygenOS 15 based on Android 15.
CNN comments as Putin unlikely to come to the negotiation table, regardless of who wins U.S. election. Ukraine facing one of Russia's most powerful offensives since start of all-out war. Ukraine's Commander-in-Chief Syrskyi says, North Korean troops could suffer even greater losses in Ukraine than Russia, Estonian intelligence says. In the U.S., Congress House Speaker Johnson says GOP may try to repeal CHIPS Act, then walks it back. IMF study claims, working from home is powering productivity. Wall Street Journal comments as Elon Musk's robotaxi dreams are premature.
ODNI, FBI, and CISA announces that Russian influence actors manufactured a recent video that falsely depicted individuals claiming to be from Haiti and voting illegally in multiple counties in Georgia. North Korea pledges to stand by Russia until victory in Ukraine. Moving to a cashless society is a huge security risk that could be exploited by Russia, Sweden, and Norway, fear, as they backpedal on plans to go fully digital in shops.
Trump insists he has big lead over Harris, setting stage for 2024 doubts, as Trump claims. Without evidence, he's ahead. Only fraud will stop him. Boeing dismantles diversity team as pressure builds on new CEO. Time names Ukraine's online wedding service among best inventions of 2024.
The Economist comments as Ukraine is now struggling to survive, not to win. Trump plans to end Russia's war in Ukraine by freezing it if he wins presidential election, FT reports. South Korea considers sending team to Ukraine to monitor North Korean troops.
Santander and HSBC join government warnings on QR code-based cyberattacks. The Kaixing Financial Times reported that Bangladesh central bank chief says tycoons linked to Hasina siphoned $17 billion from banks with spy agency help. Japan's central bank to remain undeterred on rate hikes despite LDP's electoral shock, analysts say.
China says former government worker to be executed for spying. Kenya. China hold bilateral talks in Nairobi. As Kenya requests China's support to join BRICS, Chinese group accused of hacking Singtel in telecom attacks. Kremlin says, let's see if Trump victory will help end Ukraine war. Ukraine begins shelling North Korean troops inside Russia. Kiev official says, as Ukrainian troops have engaged with North Korean units for the first time in Russia. Meta is letting the U.S. military use its Llama AI model for national security reasons. 5 days ago, it has been reported as Chinese military researchers reportedly used Meta AI to develop defense chatbot.
In the U.S., man arrested and charged with attempting to use a drone carrying an explosive device to destroy an energy facility in Nashville. In Russia, Ministry of Digital Development has proposed creating its own Linux community. 10 days ago, Linus Torvalds affirms expulsion of Russian maintainers. Lyft to pay $2.1 million civil penalty to resolve allegations of misleading drivers about their potential earnings.
Russia suspected of plotting to send incendiary devices on U.S.-bound planes. 2 weeks ago, Russia suspected of planting incendiary device on plane to the UK. South Korea and EU worry about Russia's technology transfer in return for North Korea troops. Indonesian, Russian navies hold first joint drills in Java Sea.
In the US, airlines now required to provide automatic refunds for cancelled, significantly delayed flights. Germany recalls envoy to Iran over execution of German-Iranian national. Europe prepares for America first push no matter who wins the US election.
The S&P 500's golden decade of returns is over, Goldman says. NASA generated $76 billion for U.S. economy in 2023, report says. IMF official says Asia clearly the powerhouse of global economy.
Netflix ads moments feature allowing users to easily share favorite scenes. Vivendi board approves split into 4 companies, sets December shareholder vote. Concord Music closes $850 million in financing for strategic growth and acquisitions. Digital euro sparks sovereignty battle between EU governments and ECB. North Korean troops are now in Kursk to help Russia, NATO confirms. Orban congratulates Georgia on not becoming a second Ukraine. Washington Post comments as, to understand the U.S. economic success is to love Harris's plan. Emerson College polling finds that for October 2024 national poll, as Trump 49%, Harris 49%. Bolivia's Morales says shots fired at his car as political tensions rise.
U.S. chip toolmakers move to cut China from supply chains. U.S. fines global foundries for shipping chips to sanction Chinese firm. Wall Street frenzy creates $11 billion debt market for AI groups buying NVIDIA chips.
Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway sells Apple's stock and boosts cash pile to record. Grindr illegally used RTO to thwart union, forcing out half of staff. U.S. Labor Board alleges. Germany drops money laundering probe against Russian Uzbek billionaire Usmanov, lawyers say. Russian tycoon Usmanov pays €4 million to settle German criminal probe. Moldova holds presidential runoff election amid claims of Russian meddling. Sandu's rival claims support for Ukraine. Moldovan president calls him Moscow's man, as it has been reported that Moldova's pro-Russian presidential candidate defends his Romanian passport. Moldovan presidential challenger Stoyanoglu seeks measured movement to Europe, prepared to meet Putin. Frenchmen and German arrested at Russian space site in Kazakhstan. With "That's what they do," Trump's running mate Vance brushes off Russian election interference.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer moving to NBC. After 5 decades at CBS, Mark Benioff is in talks to sell media company time to Antenna Group. Takenauts to execute fifth handover on Tiangong Space Station after the docking of Shenzhou 19, demonstrating China's strength in aerospace.
Toyota and NTT to team on AI self-driving to prevent crashes. Polestar says Biden's China tech ban would effectively prohibit sale of its cars in U.S. In the U.S., reportedly 350K hurricane-flooded cars hit the used market.
The Atlantic comments as, X is a white supremacist site and Musk's Twitter is the blueprint for a MAGA government. Musk tells Rogan that X won't be allowed to exist if Harris wins. Andrew Tate says he's moving back to U.S. as Trump claims election victory. European leaders congratulate Trump as Harris' comeback looks unlikely. France says Europe must take charge of own destiny as Trump leads U.S. vote.
In the U.S., Sarah McBride becomes the first openly transgender person elected to Congress. Voters sue Musk for fraud over $1 million election sweepstakes. Man arrested at U.S. Capitol with torch, flare gun, Capitol Police say. Interpol disrupts cybercrime activity on 22,000 IP addresses, arrests 41. In the U.S., FBI warns that fake videos using its name, insignia are spreading election misinformation. Alleged snowflake hacker detained in Canada at U.S. Department of Justice's request.
South Korea fines Meta over $15 million for sharing Facebook user data with advertisers. FTC takes action against online cash advance app Dave for deceiving consumers, charging undisclosed fees that consumers can receive up to $500. Netflix under tax fraud investigation as offices in France and Netherlands raided. Mark Gurman comments as, Apple finally finds its gaming console with the new Mac Mini. LVMH's empty Chinese megastore signals deepening luxury crash. Goodwill Reju WM partner to bolster textile recycling in North America. Coinbase brings real-time deposits via debit cards by partnering with Visa. Circle raises USDC redemption fees and plans IPO. Crypto company Consensus cuts 20% of workforce, citing regulatory uncertainty.
Hong Kong pledges more licenses for crypto exchanges by year-end, and Hong Kong unveils AI policy for finance, floats tax breaks for crypto. More than 60% of Indonesian youths invest in crypto, announced in a report. Financial Times report as, crypto exchanges turn to derivatives to lure cautious investors.
A Pakistani guard wounds 2 Chinese workers in Karachi. Reportedly, forbidden luxury enters Russia from the south. Israeli media comments as 50,000 troops fail to capture a single village in Lebanon.
Huawei is rumored to be poaching TSMC engineers, offering them triple their current salaries in an effort to jumpstart its chip-making endeavors. AstraZeneca's stock price takes a hit as China chief investigated for insurance fraud. Global chocolate confectionery studies forecasts market rise to $118 billion by 2031.
Ireland secures first €3 billion Apple tax payment, boosting exchequer funds. 1 month ago, it has been announced that Apple must pay €13 billion in back taxes, as EU's top court rules. Apple reportedly faces huge fines of up to $5.8 billion, the first fine under EU digital market law. Apple warns investors future products may never be as profitable as iPhone.
SEC crypto enforcement slated for major rollback under Trump. JP Morgan renames blockchain platform to Kinexes to add on-chain FX settlement for USD, Euro. Poland puts Crypto.com's operator on warning list.
Robinhood, Kraken, Paxos launch global dollar stablecoin network. BTC drops under $68,000 as MTGOX sends $2.2 billion Bitcoin to 2 wallets. Russia to ban Bitcoin mining in key regions due to electricity deficit. Tether's usage rise in time zones that include sanctioned nations. UBS launches its first tokenized fund on Ethereum blockchain. Crypto exchange M2 confirms $13.7 million breach. Says issue resolved within 16 minutes.
SEC issues Wells notice to Immutable, alleging IMX token violations, as Immutable says SEC is threatening to sue over sales of IMX token. Immutable pledges to fight after SEC sprayed and prayed Wells notice. Frenchman behind Trump polymarket pump has no political agenda. As reported by Wall Street Journal, UBS launches first tokenized investment fund on Ethereum.
Crypto exchange Kraken lays off workers as new co-CEO joins. Coinbase shares fall, as muted crypto trading leads to a third-quarter miss. Guilty FTX executive Nishad Singh dodges prison after cooperating on fraud case.
Harris caught on hot mic admitting her campaign is struggling with male voters. Fires set in drop boxes destroy hundreds of ballots in Washington and damage 3 in Oregon. Borisov wins Bulgarian elections as vote in favor of populist surge. Owner Jeff Bezos defends Washington Post's decision not to endorse as the right, principled one, as Jeff Bezos defends Washington Post non-endorsement, says Americans don't trust media. Over 200,000 subscribers flee Washington Post after Bezos blocks Harris endorsement. Bloomberg, after months of pressure, donates $50 million to help Harris. TV hits Trump with 85% negative news versus 78% positive press for Harris.
Extremists inspired by conspiracy theories pose major threat to 2024 elections. U.S. intelligence warns. Archbishop of San Juan says Trump needs to personally apologize. 1 day ago, offensive Latino, Puerto Rico jokes at Trump MSG rally launch wave of criticism. NAACP poll says Trump support among young black men decreasing.
Google's AI search summaries are rolling out to over 100 more countries. Apple Intelligence rolling out in the European Union starting in April 2025. It has been commented as, Apple's commitment to AI is clear, but its execution is uneven. Apple Intelligence goes live with iOS 18.1 update. Meta is reportedly working on its own AI-powered search engine, too. Daughter of LA Times owner says, endorsement decision stemmed from Harris' stance on Gaza war. Trump-supporting comedian opens MSG rally by calling Puerto Rico a floating island of garbage, and reportedly, Trump's Madison Square Garden rally overshadowed by his allies' crude and racist remarks. Anti-Puerto Rico comments at Trump rally spur outrage as Bad Bunny supports Harris. Walls compares Trump's Madison Square Garden rally to 1939 pro-Nazi event, as DNC projects message tying Trump to Hitler on Madison Square Garden during rally.
Washington Post reports as, on Elon Musk's X, Republicans go viral as Democrats disappear. Users spreading U.S. poll misinformation, AI images claim being paid by X, announces in a report. An Elon Musk-funded super PAC is putting out fake pro-Harris ads. As Elon Musk funded PAC Supercharger's Progress 2028 Democrat impersonation ad campaign, whereas Progress 2028 may look like a Democratic response to Project 2025, but it's not. The New Republic comments as, pro-Trump militias are threatening the election, and Meta lets them. And reportedly, Facebook is auto-generating militia group pages, as extremists continue to organize in plain sight.
Schumer pledges to pass anti-Semitism bill in Senate's lame duck session. 3 months ago, Senator Schumer bring the Anti-Semitism Awareness Act of 2023 to the Senate floor. CNN bans guest who suggested Mehdi Hassan's beeper would explode, as right-wing guest booted from CNN mid-segment after vile attack on panelist. In the UK for Southport attack, murder suspect Axel Rudakabana charged after ricin and Al-Qaeda manual found. Washington Post cancellations hit 250,000, the 10% of subscribers. In the U.S., political ads driving increase in TV ad revenue to $36.2 billion, S&P projects. Democrats launch ads in nail salons, malls and final swing state sprint.
Biden calls Trump supporters garbage during Harris campaign event as VP promises unity at a Lips rally. Amid backlash, Trump claims no president has done more for Puerto Rico than he has, and Trump denies knowing comedian who made Puerto Rico joke at his rally. Trump calls Harris a fascist, says he is the opposite of a Nazi. J.D. Vance scheduled to sit down for interview with Joe Rogan, as Vance to sit down with Joe Rogan after Harris appearance scrapped. RFK Jr. said Trump promised him control of HHS and USDA. Supreme Court rules RFK Jr. will appear on battleground ballots despite suspending campaign. Passengers removed from Heathrow plane after fight over Trump MAGA cap. Wall says Trump, Vance need classes on how to talk to women.
Mike Johnson vows major changes to Affordable Care Act if Trump wins election. Trump Treasury contender pledges to work with Musk to slash spending. Elon Musk asks voters to brace for economic hardship, deep spending cuts in potential Trump cabinet role. U.S. economy grew at a solid 2.8% pace last quarter on strength of consumer spending.
It has been commented as Washington Post obliviously admits conservatives are more popular than liberals online, as Washington Post reports that, on Elon Musk's X, Republicans go viral as Democrats disappear. The American Spectator comments as, if Trump is such a Nazi, why do 80% of Orthodox Jews support him? Trump announced his plan to seize cartel assets to aid families victimized by migrant crime.
Harris says she will be sadly ready if Trump prematurely claims victory Tuesday. Fortune reports as, election betting site Polymarket gives Trump a 67% chance of winning but is rife with fake wash trading, researchers say. Iran will likely try to contact Americans directly in influence campaign, sources say.
Russia demands Google pay mind-boggling 2 undecillion rubles over YouTube bans. 1 month ago, Russia warns response to U.S. sanctions on RT will make everyone shudder. EU imposes extra tariffs of up to 35% on China EVs, risking Beijing's backlash. Beijing files WTO complaint over EU's new taxes on Chinese EVs. SAG-AFTRA reaches deal on AI protections with digital replica company Ethivox. X introduces Lightning Notes to show community notes less than 19 minutes from posting. Wall Street Journal comments as X algorithm feeds users political content, whether they want it or not. Trump media is now worth more than Elon Musk's X after stock rallies to new highs.
Associated Post sources claim White House altered record of Biden's garbage, remarks despite stenographer concerns. Trump sues CBS News for $10 billion alleging deceptive doctoring of Harris's 60 Minutes interview. CNN comments as, election officials are outmatched by Elon Musk's misinformation machine. The Economist endorses Harris, warns Trump carries unacceptable risks. Kamala Harris says Trump's comments on women are offensive to everybody. Trump says he'll protect women, like it or not, evoking his history of misogyny. Mark Cuban says Trump is never seen with intelligent women, sparking outrage on the right. Mark Cuban issues apology over Trump women remark, with no excuses.
Call of Duty franchise reaches $500 million sales, not even counting Black Ops 6. Game of Thrones movie in early development at Warner Brothers. Cliffhanger reboot gets retooled. Lily James, Pierce Brosnan to star as Sylvester Stallone exits. Brigadier General Buzz Aldrin endorses Donald J. Trump for President of the United States. Arnold Schwarzenegger endorses Kamala Harris with "Don't Recognize Our Country," as Arnold Schwarzenegger says he'll reluctantly vote for Kamala Harris. USA Today and its 200-plus local affiliates punt on presidential endorsement.
Trump rides in garbage truck in effort to seize on Biden comment. One day ago, Biden suggests Trump supporters are garbage after comic's insult of Puerto Rico. Colorado Secretary of State posted spreadsheet with voting system passwords. Oxfam announces that billionaires emit more carbon pollution in 90 minutes than the average person does in a lifetime, through their investments, private jets and yachts.
Trump's health pick RFK Jr. touts removing fluoride from water. Elon Musk's canvassing operation sued in California for alleged labor law violations. Trump says those who describe him as a friend of Russia are sick. Kamala Harris's ancestral village in India prays for her election win. Iran vows tooth-breaking response. US B-52 bombers reach Middle East. US warns Iran, "We won't be able to restrain Israel if you attack." New scandal engulfs Netanyahu after close aide arrested for alleged intel leak. New York Times editorial board urges voters to choose Harris. Palestinian-American Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib refuses to endorse Harris. 3 days before U.S. elections, Kemi Badenoch becomes first black woman to lead UK Conservatives. Liz Cheney tells George W. Bush to endorse Kamala Harris with "It's time." Teen Vogue comments as, "Kamala Harris is not our savior, but a Donald Trump win would be catastrophic." Avengers stars assemble to endorse Kamala Harris by brainstorming an election catchphrase. The Hill comments as, "In bromance, Joe Rogan and J.D. Vance yuck it up over Kamala Harris and more." Trump attacks Liz Cheney, saying she wouldn't be a war hawk if guns are trained on her face. Europe's Greens ask Jill Stein to pull out of U.S. election to prevent Trump victory. A California property manager said, "He voted for Trump 6 times. He's being investigated." Trump declares unprecedented mandate after winning presidency for second time. Sweden scraps plans for 13 offshore wind farms over Russia security fears. Russia, China, emerging axis troubling, says Australia intelligence chief.
Axios comments as, "Two potential futures for Trump, the presidency or prison." New York Post reports as, "Harris botched interview with Muslim influencer by celebrating bacon as a spice." Judge rejects request to block Elon Musk $1 million voter giveaway.
CNN reports as, Elon Musk's misleading election claims have been viewed more than 2 billion times on X. Analysis finds. Wall Street Journal comments as, "Trump isn't perfect, but he's the better choice." Reportedly, in the U.S., nearly $1 billion has been spent on political ads over the last week.
Angered over BRICS veto, Venezuela recalls ambassador to Brazil. Ukraine slams Google for revealing location of military sites. Northern Ireland named as the UK's future Silicon Valley. U.S. Treasury sanctions 2 Swiss lawyers for aiding Russian clients. Musk lawyers say $1 million prizes weren't awarded by chance, as hearing on Philadelphia District Attorney's suit against the sweepstakes gets underway. NBC gives Donald Trump campaign time during NASCAR race, Sunday Night Football, in response to Kamala Harris's SNL appearance, as NBC files equal time notice for Harris's SNL cameo following backlash. New York Post comment as, "Who needs an endorsement? Media has been biased for Kamala Harris from the start."
LGBT voters, a larger share of the electorate than ever, shift away from Trump. Trump makes massive gains with Hispanics nationwide and black voters in swing states, as per exit polls. Reportedly, Harris' campaign rejected Black Caucus $10 million outreach proposal to undecided black voters. New York Times comments as, after Trump took the lead, election deniers went suddenly silent.
Harris concedes the election, but vows to not stop fighting for a better future. Axios comments as, "Democrats start clawing each other's eyes out. You people suck." Bannon vows DOJ and FBI will pay the price when Trump retakes office. RFK Jr. says entire departments at FDA have to go, and we're not going to take vaccines away from anybody. Liz Cheney says guardrails of democracy must keep Trump in check.
Corning faces EU antitrust scrutiny over Gorilla Glass deals with phone makers. United States renews calls for Italy to scrap its web tax, sources say. Saudis plan $100 billion AI powerhouse to rival UAE tech hub. 42.3 million viewers watched presidential election night coverage. Reportedly, election night ratings for Trump's White House return fall 25% from 2020, and YouTube viewers guzzled 84 million hours of presidential election day news. Jeff Bezos, Sam Altman, Tim Cook, and other tech leaders congratulate Trump on election win. Thousands of election gamblers anticipate betting jackpot after Trump win. Musk asked Trump to name SpaceX execs to top government jobs. Researchers are questioning if ADHD should be seen as a disorder. A study claims ADHD is best understood as a cultural construct. U.S. chemists debunk 100-years-old Brett's rule to change organic chemistry forever. Exposure to sugar rationing in the first 1,000 days of life protected against chronic disease.
GelSight and Meta AI introduce Digit 360 tactile sensor. Quantum Schrödinger's cat survives for a stunning 23 minutes, where light matter entanglement creates Schrödinger cat states. Scientists confirm monkeys do not have the time to write Shakespeare.
Nobel Prize-winning laboratory spins out startup to build antibody cages with AI-designed proteins. NASA's solar sailing spacecraft has a bent boom and is still tumbling in Earth orbit. Black plastic kitchen utensils, takeout containers, even toys linked to cancer-causing chemicals.
A study claims dog and human vocal interactions match dogs' sensory motor tuning. Visual clutter alters information flow in the brain. Polar bears are being exposed to more pathogens as the climate warms.
Origins of world's earliest writing point to symbols on seals, used in Mesopotamian trade. Earth's sixth mass extinction is underway and rapidly accelerating, study warns. SpaceX plans to send 5 uncrewed starships to Mars in 2 years, Musk says. Marmosets use specific names for one another, study finds.
Scientists create plant-animal hybrid cells that photosynthesize. Archaeologists stumble upon 900-years-old door guardian statues in Cambodia. From Mary Rose, bones from Tudor shipwreck suggest handedness may influence collarbones. Endangered bees stop Meta's plan for nuclear-powered AI data center. Peanut the squirrel touches off social media firestorm after New York officials euthanize beloved rodent. Evolution is not as random as previously thought, finds new study.
Parents who use humor have better relationships with their children. Study finds comb jellies can transform from adult to juvenile, in aging in reverse. Parents trust AI for medical advice more than doctors, researchers find. New evidence suggests that dark energy comes from black holes. University of Hawaii astronomers announces that our cosmic neighborhood may be 10x larger, as new map of the universe shows megastructures. SpaceX wants to test refueling starships in space early next year.
Instagram saves the best video quality for the most popular content. Meta releases an open version of Google's podcast generator. Study reveals that Wikipedia users are divided into 3 types, as nosy people, hunters, and dancers. OpenAI CFO says 75% of its revenue comes from paying consumers. Claude AI gets bored during coding demonstration, starts perusing photos of national parks instead. Microsoft says Google is running shadow campaigns in Europe to influence regulators. A Chopin waltz unearthed after nearly 200 years. Universal Music strikes strategic deal with ethical AI music company Clay Vision. Dolly Parton receives U.S. Department of State and Recording Academy's Peace Through Music Award for 2024.
Trump says only he can prevent World War III, but his embrace of autocrats endangers the USA. Advisors propose that Trump give security clearances without FBI vetting. Bad Bunny, Jennifer Lopez, Ricky Martin pledged support for Kamala Harris. Good omens to end with one 90-minute episode as Neil Gaiman exits following sexual assault allegations. Sean Diddy Combs hosted parties on Big Showbiz Nights. Gerard Depardieu requests delay in sexual assault trial citing health concerns.
Amazon invests in Spotter, which has paid out more than $940 million to creators. John Krasinski to star in Jack Ryan movie at Amazon MGM Studios as franchise enters new phase of series extension. Wendell Pierce returning and Michael Kelly in talks. Yankee Stadium fans ejected for prying ball from Mookie Betts' glove.
Grammy Awards to move from CBS to Disney in 2027 with 10 years streaming and broadcast deal. Award-winning creator of Barbie gears up to adapt beloved Narnia series for Netflix. Robert Downey Jr. says he intends to sue all future executives who use his AI replica.
Apple making Oregon Trail movie that will be an action comedy with Barbie-style musical numbers, claimed in a report. Hong Kong film A Light Never Goes Out disqualified from 2024 Oscars due to conflict of interest. Netflix, Universal renew animated movie licensing deal in U.S. will add live-action titles starting in 2027.
In Japan, for fake investment fraud, Meta sued for 400 million yen, claiming it failed to investigate. As fake ads impersonating celebrities caused harm by being ignored, lawsuits filed in 5 district courts across the country against Meta. Brazil Institute sues social media giants for $525 million over usage by minors. Reportedly, Japanese manga publisher Shueisha hunts manga pirates but needs Google, PayPal and Visa to assist. 5 months ago, Shueisha DMCA subpoena targets 24 manga piracy sites. Pompeii archaeologists discover ancient tiny house with elaborate frescoes. Laser archaeology finds lost Maya cities hidden under forests. A student discovers lost Mayan city in Mexico jungle by accident. Meow Wolf announces opening date, theme for Houston location.
Italy puts IEA and Lufthansa deal on hold. Due to price dispute, sources say. UMG sues Believe and TuneCore for $500 million, alleging industrial-scale copyright infringement. France's Believe denies copyright allegation in $500 million claim by UMG. Warhol prints stolen and damaged in a botched heist in the Netherlands.
Quincy Jones, music titan who worked with everyone from Frank Sinatra to Michael Jackson, dies at 91. TikTok founder becomes China's richest man. Netflix is removing nearly all of its interactive titles.
Ed Sheeran wins copyright appeal over Thinking Out Loud versus Let's Get It On. Chappell Roan debuts new song, The Giver, on SNL. Sony Music acquires recorded music catalog of Egyptian superstar Amr Diab.
Pinocchio slasher film from Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey team casts horror vets Robert Englund and Richard Brake. New Godzilla movie in the works from Godzilla-1 director Takashi Yamazaki. Tom Cruise in early talks for Days of Thunder sequel.
Idris Elba to move to Africa to bolster the film industry. Gerard Depardieu's French actor's sexual assault trial opens in Paris. U.S. actor Armie Hammer teases return to Hollywood after sexual misconduct allegations. 1 year ago, Armie Hammer avoids charges after sex assault investigation, says name has been cleared.
NVIDIA overtakes Apple as world's most valuable company. Andreessen Horowitz is building a stash of more than 20,000 GPUs to win AI deals. Replica Michael Parkinson to host world-first AI podcast. Channel 4 greenlights Poison documentary.
Delhi High Court orders Wikipedia to take down page on ANI defamation suit. 10 days ago, ANI asks HC to initiate contempt case against Wikipedia, says 36 hours deadline over. AWS, Azure authentication keys found in Android and iOS apps used by millions. Pokémon Maker confirms it was victim of hack, and hackers hit Pokémon developer Game Freak, expose troves of sensitive data.
California governor proposes $750 million in annual film tax credits. Using AI to replace an actor is now against the law in California. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer says media firms should have control of output used in AI.
Roblox is banning kids from social hangout spaces. Australia proposes world-leading ban on social media for children under 16. Canada orders shutdown of TikTok's Canadian business. App access to continue.
Heretic directors used end credits to warn Hollywood about AI, with "let's bury it underground with nuclear warheads, 'cause it might kill us all." Heretic directors say A24 supported their anti-generative AI position. Ryan Reynolds writing a non-Marvel project to reunite with Hugh Jackman and director Sean Levy after Deadpool and Wolverine. Mozilla is eliminating its advocacy division, which fought for a free and open web.
South Korean national arrested in China on suspicion of espionage. Bloomberg comments as, U.S. efforts to contain Xi's push for tech supremacy are faltering. Beijing claims it's found underwater lighthouses that its foes use for espionage.
UK visa process for AI experts should be streamlined, says government advisor. Wall Street Journal reports that Elon Musk's XAI in talks to raise funding valuing it at $40 billion. LinkedIn is introducing hiring assistant for recruiter and jobs as first AI agent. Google Chrome adding performance issue alerts to desktop. Siemens nears deal to buy $9 billion automotive software developer Altair. Claimed in a report. AI demand grows Alphabet revenue 15% to $88.3 billion. Russia is getting NVIDIA AI chips from a very unlikely source, an Indian drug firm. U.S. finalizes rules to curb AI investments in China. Impose other restrictions. TSMC cuts off at least 2 chip clients over potential Huawei links.
Philadelphia DA sues Elon Musk's America PAC over $1 million giveaway. Robinhood jumps into election trading, giving users chance to buy Harris or Trump contracts. Steve Bannon is released from prison in time for the last week push to Election Day. 4 months ago, Steve Bannon ordered to report to prison by July 1st to serve contempt of Congress sentence, and 3 months ago, Steve Bannon turns himself into prison after Supreme Court appeal rejected.
CISA announces that JCDC's industry government collaboration speeds mitigation of CrowdStrike IT outage. In Canada, tens of thousands of taxpayer accounts hacked as CRA repeatedly paid out millions in bogus refunds. Hacked info from Italy security databases sold to rich clients, prosecutors say. Mossad agents allegedly bought info on Russia from Italian firm marred in snooping scandal. As massive hack for hire scandal rocks Italian political elites.
Intel posts updated Raptor, Lake microcode for Linux, fixes voltage issue, and other bugs. Steam now requires developers to tell people when their games have kernel mode anti-heat. OpenAI releases Simple QA, a factuality benchmark that measures the ability for language models to answer short, fact-seeking questions.
Nintendo launches music app with soundtracks from classic games including Super Mario Bros., Legend of Zelda. Temya to face EU probe over handling of illegal product sales. Ubisoft very silently launches blockchain RPG with playable NFTs that cost up to $63,000. Reuters reports that Intel's CEO Pat Gelsinger fumbled the revival of an American icon. And Intel made a big mistake when CEO offended TSMC, Reuters says. 3 years ago, TSMC says few people will fall for Intel claim that Taiwan is unstable. Previously, Intel CEO calls Taiwan unstable and questions chip dependency on Asia, then TSMC responds to the claim. OpenAI builds first chip with Broadcom and TSMC, scales back foundry ambition. Linus Torvalds slams AI as 90% marketing and 10% reality.
Russian hackers are targeting U.S. officials, Microsoft says. Trump family members and Biden aides among China hack targets. Fitness app Strava gives away location of Biden, Trump and other leaders, French newspaper says.
Stardew Valley updates strange bug features a wild coyote that kills chickens. Fortnite Chapter 2 remix teams up with Snoop Dogg, Eminem, and others. Apple explores push into smart glasses with Atlas, user study. M4 Max makes short work of 24 cores Intel Ultra 9 285K, outperforming it by 17% in single-core and nearly 16% in multi-core performance, as Apple's new M4 Max is the fastest CPU on the market, and we haven't even seen M4 Ultra. NVIDIA set to replace Intel in the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Russia says $20 decillion fine against Google is symbolic. Apple offers iPhone 14 Plus service program for rear camera issue with devices which were manufactured between April 10, 2023 to April 28, 2024. will provide service free of charge. OnePlus 13 with Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Elite chipset, 6,000 mAh battery launched in China. Android 16 coming Q2 2025 as Google readies more frequent SDK releases. Elon Musk wants to send 30,000 more Starlink satellites into space, and it has astronomers worried. European Union to build its own satellite internet constellation as the EU reaches agreement on new satellite constellation Iris. EU's Starlink rival, Iris 2, won't offer full service until early 2030s. Apple to invest up to $1.5 billion in Globalstar for satellite coverage expansion. NFL players push back on media interviews in their locker rooms. 1 month ago, NFLPA calls to move media interviews out of locker rooms to respect players' privacy and dignity. Apple told TikTok it's unfit for young teens. New lawsuit details allege. Cloud Forest in Ecuador could be recognized as songwriter in radical legal proposition.
GitHub Copilot will support models from Anthropic, Google, and OpenAI. And GitHub's Octoverse report announces that AI leads Python to top language as the number of global developers surges. Global AI boom to triple EU data center energy use by 2030. Google CEO announces that more than a quarter of new code at Google is generated by AI.
Gartner predicts AI agents will transform work, but disillusionment is growing. Open source AI must reveal its training data, per new OSI definition. Polish broadcaster shuts down AI-run radio station after a week following backlash.
In the U.S., an AI tool used in thousands of criminal cases is facing legal challenges. In Australia, students asked to analyze a photograph they suspect is AI-generated in HSC exam. In Ireland, An Post unveils first AI-generated stamps. Over 200 days after its official closure, the last user of Nintendo Network's online servers finally disconnected after a 3DS system crash. Steam's built-in game recording is now available to all. Amazon launches Clinic Medical Consultation Service in India.
Amazon gets FAA approval for new delivery drone as it begins tests in Arizona. In Japan, Rakuten launches Rakuten Unmanned Delivery, a product delivery service for retailers and restaurants using automated delivery robots in the Harumi area of Tokyo. World's first wooden satellite built in Japan launched to space.
OpenAI CEO Sam Altman says lack of compute capacity is delaying the company's products, and Sam Altman says no GPT-5 this year in Reddit AMA. OpenAI brings a new web search tool to ChatGPT. Amazon CEO reveals new Alexa will work as AI agent. Mark Zuckerberg says a lot more AI-generated content is coming to fill up your Facebook and Instagram feeds. Reuters reports that Chinese researchers develop AI model for military use on back of Meta's Llama. Firewall maker Sophos reveals 5-year battle with Chinese hackers attacking network devices. North Korea announces ICBM launch. Japan and US condemn it.
Indonesia bans sales of Google phones days after blocking Apple's iPhone 16. EU to probe NVIDIA's acquisition of RU and AI after Italy. Largest U.S. drone manufacturer says it will need to ration batteries for customers after sanctions by China, as Chinese sanctions hit U.S. drone maker supplying Ukraine.
Washington Post comments as, the AI boom may unleash a global surge in electronic waste. Bloomberg comments as, AI's $1.3 trillion future increasingly hinges on Taiwan. 46% of NVIDIA's revenue came from 4 mystery customers last quarter.
Meta AI has more than 500 million users. Meta's next Llama AI models are training on a GPU cluster bigger than anything else. 1 month ago it had been reported as, Meta will soon get a 100,000 GPU cluster too. South Korea's chip production falls for first time in 14 months. Microsoft CFO says OpenAI investment will cut into profit this quarter. Microsoft says AI is on pace to be a $10 billion a year business.
Qualcomm. ARM results show phone industry making uneven comeback. TSMC and GlobalFoundries finish talks over CHIPS Act awards. GlobalWafers expects CHIPS Act to continue in Trump administration. CNBC reports that Trump likely to uphold CHIPS Act despite his campaign rhetoric, experts say. AI's huge power needs give oil majors incentive to invest in renewables, says Adnoc, Abu Dhabi National Oil Company's boss. AI workers seek whistleblower cover to expose emerging threats. AMD overtakes Intel in quarterly data center revenue for the first time, EPYC CPUs and Instinct AI accelerators showing their dominance.
Amazon's Prime Video launches AI-generated TV show recaps, promises they're spoiler-free. Perplexity CEO offers AI companies services to replace striking NYT staff. One day ago, New York Times tech workers go on strike on eve of 2024 election, alleging unfair labor practices. 1 in 20 new Wikipedia pages seem to be written with the help of AI.
Meta says it's making its Llama models available for U.S. national security applications. Instagram plans to use AI to catch teens lying about age. MIT debuts a large language model-inspired method for teaching robots new skills.
NVIDIA set to replace Intel in the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Google's Big Sleep AI project uncovers real software vulnerabilities. Reuters reports that Walt Disney forms business unit to coordinate use of AI and augmented reality.
New water bear. Tardigrade species can endure radiation levels 1,000 times higher than humans. UK confirms 2 cases of new monkeypox strain in Europe's first household transmissions. WHO reports that tuberculosis resurges as top infectious disease killer.
Russia's torture of Ukrainian civilians. Prisoners is a crime against humanity. UN expert panel says more than 100 BBC staff accuse broadcaster of Israel bias in Gaza coverage. Displacement in Sudan crosses 11 million as devastating crisis reaches new heights, announces IOM chief.
U.S. adults in worse health than British counterparts at midlife. Gaza children dying as Israel curtails medical evacuations, UN agencies say. Philips cuts sales outlook as China demand wanes.
News organizations are forced to accept Google AI crawlers, says Financial Times policy chief. JP Morgan reportedly unveils IndexGPT AI tool. Microsoft adds new AI tool in Notepad to rewrite and refine your text with ease.
OpenAI acquired Chat.com. AI chatbot launches on gov.uk to help business users, with mixed results. New York Times demands OpenAI admit which articles it used in AI training.
With We Have a New Star, Elon Musk takes center stage during Donald Trump's victory speech. James Webb Telescope spots feasting black hole eating 40 times faster than should be possible. Windows Server 2025 accidentally auto-installed due to third-party tool and API error.
1 in 5 Australians admit they don't wash their hands every time they use the toilet. Drunk animals far more common than previously thought, scientists say. Taliban bans women from hearing other women's voices.
Fired Disney staffer accused of hacking menu to add profanity. Wingdings removes allergen info. Study suggests that Jedi rodents remotely move matter using sound to enhance their sense of smell. The owners of a New Zealand volcano that erupted in 2019, killing 22 people, appeal their conviction.
MIT develops tiny devices to monitor and heal individual cells, restoring lost brain functions. Superbacteria's double defense against antibiotics is discovered. Mysterious circular DNA